Today you are going to be making artwork inspired by Jasper Johns. And the way that we're going to start this artwork is by drawing some lines to create a grid on our paper. So we're going to use our ruler, and you want to line the top of your ruler up with the top of your paper. If you don't do that, you might end up with some lines that are diagonal instead of vertical. So I'm going to line it up. We're going to do 3 vertical lines. My first line is going to be on this side of the paper. You want to leave just a little bit of space, and then hold your ruler with 2 fingers and draw a line going down. I'm going to move my paper over to draw my second line. I'm going to leave a little bit of space on this edge, maybe a little bit more space on this edge, so that this shape and this shape are the same size. Holding my ruler with 2 fingers, and then I'm going to draw a line going straight down. Once I have 2 vertical lines, I'm going to flip my ruler around so that I can do 3 horizontal lines. The first horizontal line that I draw is going to be right in the middle of the paper. So I'm going to put it right in the middle. I'm going to line up my ruler with the edge of my paper so it's a horizontal line. And then I'm going to draw that line going right across. Now I have space up here and space down here for another horizontal line. So I'm going to line it up on the edge of the paper right there so I get a horizontal line, and I can draw that line right across. When I'm holding my ruler, I'm making sure that my fingers stay in the middle. If I put my fingers out here, it's going to make it hard for me to draw a line. So I'm going to keep my fingers in the middle of my ruler. And then we have all of our boxes. It is okay if our boxes are a little bit different sizes and shapes. That's just going to make our artwork even more interesting. The next step is to draw a different letter in every one of these boxes. So I'm going to draw the letters of my name. Once you run out of letters for your name, you just start repeating your name again. If you run out of letters right here, then you would just start with the next letter right there. It doesn't matter how they line up. You're just going to repeat your name again and again until the whole grid is filled with letters. The next step is going to be to trace our lines with crayons. When you are tracing, sometimes you might have a little bit too much paper. You can peel that paper off and throw that extra paper into the trash can at your table. When you're tracing these lines, I want you to press down really hard. We are going to be painting this in next time with watercolor pencil, or with watercolors. And if you press down really hard, it's going to mean that the crayon shows through the watercolor paint. You don't have to use the same color for each line. You can switch it up and do different colors. You would continue tracing all of the lines, and then you are going to trace the letters. And I'm going to show you why it's important to press down hard with your crayon when you're tracing the letters. We're going to do an experiment. For this first one, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do what I'm not supposed to do. And I'm just going to trace over my letter really lightly without pressing down very hard. And then for the second one, I am going to press down really hard like I know I'm supposed to. And in just a second, I'm going to show you how our experiment works out when we paint over these 2 different letters with the watercolor paint. I finished tracing all of my lines and all of my letters, and then I finished our science experiment to figure out how pressing down hard will affect the watercolors. You can see the one where I press down light, that letter doesn't show up as much as the letter that I press down hard with my crayon. So when you're tracing over your letters and your lines, I want you to really use your muscles and press down hard with those crayons so that your letters and your lines will show up nice and bright when you paint them with watercolors next week.